seems to me the combination of that lack of engagement on the relationship side plus the plummeting birth rate, it seems to me to be a primary biological marker of profound demoralization. Because I mean, people aren't committing to the future or to each other.
Yes, I mean, having a kid is a vote for the future. So if you intend to have a child like that, that means you care about the future.
Yeah. You believe in the future.
You believe in the future. Having a child, assuming it's intentional, is it's the most optimistic thing that somebody could do.
So one of the things I derived from this analysis I've been doing of the Old Testament is that faith and courage. I'll give you an example. So when Moses is on the verge of the Promised Land, he sends scouts out to check out Canaan, because that's the Promised Land. Now, Canaan is the home of the descendants of Cain. So it's a very specific place mythologically. It's the place of people who aren't aiming up, put it that way.
All right.
Okay, so the scouts go out to look at the future, and they come back in two teams. And one team says, there's nothing but giants there. It's a complete bloody catastrophe. You led us out into the desert stupidly. We were better off in the tyranny. There's no way we're going to survive, right? And the next scouts, or the other set of scouts, Caleb and Joshua, come back and say, well, there's trouble there, but if we aim up and we get our act together, we can turn this into the Promised Land. Okay? It's at that point that God condemns Moses to die, and Aaron, who's the political wing, and the earth opens up and swallows up the faithless scouts. And it's the people who are led by Caleb and Joshua, who has the same name as Christ, by the way, and that's relevant. They're the ones that are led into the Promised Land. Okay, so what's the meaning of the story? Well, the future's always a challenge. And the moral thing to do is to evince faith and courage in the future, regardless. In some ways, it's a weird thing, because it's kind of regardless of the data. Because you can say, well, look at all the suffering that constitutes life, and look at all the potential horrors of the future. And certainly people do hesitate about bringing a child into a world like this.
I hear that often,
Yeah. Well, and it's weird, because if you had to bring a child into the world and you had to pick a time, you'd probably pick this one.
Yes.
And so, obviously, everybody who had a child, at least by choice in the past, did that in spite of the catastrophe of the future. But, sorry, it's a long-winded way of making a point. There's an ethical requirement that's associated with living in the manner that would justify your life even to yourself, to have faith and courage in the future, no matter what.
Sure.
Right? So it's not a foolishness or what? Defense against death anxiety or foolish superstition, that faith. It's not that at all. It's a kind of courage. It's like, we're going to make this work.
Yeah.
We're going to make this work. And a child is a vote in that direction.
A child is a vote for the future.
Yeah.